I don't sound like Alan.
This meeting is being recorded.
I don't look like Alan. I don't sound like Alan. He got tied up on something in UVA, so he called me and asked me to do the meeting. So here I am. So John, you want to take it over? Let me know. If not, I'll keep on going. You can sit there and enjoy your buzz. Glad to see you out
No,
of the
you go ahead and
hospital.
do it. I'll just be here if you have any questions.
All right. Glad to see you're in the hospital. I know that's the last place you want to be.
Well, I'm out now.
That's good. That's good. All right. The newsletter was sent out. Everybody read the minutes. Is there any corrections to it? Any additions?
I moved
Subtractions?
that we accept them as written.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay,
Second.
motion and second. All those in favor? Say
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay,
Aye.
thank you.
Is David Robinson in here?
No.
Okay,
All right,
I'll send him a message, Ken. Okay,
okay.
go ahead. I'm sorry, proceed.
It's okay, John. Okay, you're helping me keep me on track. Ken, can we get the treasurer's report, please?
Sure. We started the month with $18,840.39. We had 2 dues, and so we have $40 that came in. And then we bought a book for instructor's book for the tech class at $31.95. That was our only expense. So we're at $18,848.44 for the month. And there are no new members this month. We had a couple people renew, but no new people.
Okay, I was going to
I
ask
want
you
to
that.
remind everybody to check. Everybody check and see if you owe dues or not, because this is the time when we cut off people who haven't paid dues. So if you just neglected to pay your dues or forgot to pay them or whatever, please pay them.
Yeah, and you didn't pay your dues because you didn't get a newsletter. Because
Hey, Ken, could you give me the total again?
the total dollar amount at the end of the month was
Yes.
$18,848.44.
Thank you.
No problem.
Okay, we've heard the other report, the treasurer's report. Do I have a motion to accept it?
So move.
Second.
Second,
I'll second.
all those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, we'll move on to committees. Bruce, you want to give us a report on the Hopewell School project
Yeah.
you're working on?
Yeah, let me just share with you a little piece here to be kind of fun. Mike Owens and I are basically providing a lot of the, what's the word, a lot of the support for getting this stuff done. So we have this little beast that if any of you who remember the days of phone patches, this is the new version of the phone patch. So we got one of these on loan from the ARISS folks. And we spent a good hunky yesterday getting the sound balance on it. It's not what you'd call intuitive, but essentially they can call in, hook up to the PA system in the auditorium, and the person on the telephone can hear the announcements in the auditorium, and the auditorium can hear the responses back again. So we did our first practice yesterday with me making believe I'm an astronaut and talking to the kids, and we're going to redo it next Thursday. The kids did pretty well. We had a little problem with this technology, but I think we've got it down, but we want to nail it first. We will do the presentation the week of the 28th. They've given us a list of 7 time slots when it will be over a station, a ham radio station, over that 1 week period. And the teacher had to rate them from 1 to 7 as to which one she preferred. So we'll get one of those the week of the 28th. Because of NASA has tighter COVID restrictions than the school system does. And they're fairly tight down in Hopewell in terms of their requirements, but they have tighter restrictions. So We can only have 100 of the kids in the room. We can only have 2 hams, me and Mike, to look over the equipment, and we have the 10 students. And then we have a rack at the back for the press. Channel 12 is going to be there. We're not sure who else. So that's kind of the way it's set up. We're going to live stream it. The school's going to live stream it, and NASA's going to live stream it on their channel on YouTube. So if you want to look at it, want to watch it, you could do it. It's going to be most likely 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. We don't know which one we're going to get, but you can watch it that way, or you'll be able to watch it as a YouTube afterwards. So that's what that plan is. Any questions about it? And the other thing
Sounds
I have, huh?
Sounds cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite
It's
complicated.
been interesting, these kids. 6th graders are wild. I've not dealt with 6th graders in a long time, and they are just all over the place. And so that's interesting. I don't know how the teachers stand it. Anyway, those of us that have been down there have been having fun with it. The other thing I wanted to tell you about was the school. So far, and we're getting with this new online registration system. Now the classes start the 8th of March. We're going to use the new to us 5YI instead of the ARRL teaching. And if we go by Ken Zudafin's experience using it in general last semester, it'll be 5 weeks instead of 10. Maybe we go as far as 8 for extra, because extra's got more stuff in it. But anyway, and the online registration system, we've been getting registrations regular along. So what I have now, but you maybe have some new stuff since then, I have 8 for tech, 4 for general, 3 for extra, 5 for antenna modeling seminar, 2 for remote station seminar, and 3 for D-Star. So if any of you are interested, or you have some friends that are interested in it, March 1st is the deadline to sign up. And the first class will be an extra class on March 8th. And because we were set up to use the classroom studio we've set up at the church, I'm not sure where we'll be in terms of, we will be on Zoom, and we may also be in person in some cases. I know the tech class is going to be Zoom only, but we've got it spaced out so that it's Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, different days for different classes. So any questions about the school?
No, I have a question, Bruce, about the Hopewell School.
Yes.
How many 6th graders are you dealing with? You said you only have 100.
Let's see. Well, 4 classes of 20 kids each.
Oh, so that'll get you below your 100 students in the room. Okay. In the gym. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're they're a wild bunch, but we've gotten they've gotten to know us. They look forward to us showing up because we're a break from the routine. I think that's the reason. I want to think it's because we're just great teachers, but I think it's really because we're a break from the routine. But they're sweet kids. I'm enjoying them. So.
All right. Well, thank you.
That's all I've got.
All right. Well, thank you for the report. We appreciate everything you do for us. I'll be back with you when I get to the announcements. Any other committees? Anybody got to add anything to add?
I was just
Okay.
gonna say, if he could
Yes, Judy.
accidentally drop a couple times that during the class, that the summer field day, and get some of these 60 kids out there, that'd be nice.
Good point.
Joe, can I add one more thing?
Sure.
We
Go ahead,
are
Bruce.
planning to have our first boot camp, which is following the National New Hampshire sort of thing, at the Air Railroad Museum in the April-May timeframe. I'm waiting until I get done with the space station thing, because that's all I can handle right now. And we're going to try and take new hams through all this stuff. So hopefully that'll be a part of it, and maybe we can look about doing some stuff at field day as well. So I think we need to give new hams a lot more mentorship, a lot more care to kind of get them going. So that's it. Sorry for giving something else.
I think it'd be awesome to have a bunch of kids on the air talking, It'd be a new experience for them, but they like taking on a new medium. So that would get the wires going on.
Also, Alan did ask me to tell you that the next testing for the WA3J team will be at Bon Air Airport on the second Saturday, starting at noon, not 10 o'clock, 12 noon, because the library system is using the room until 11:30. Then hopefully we'll go back to 10:30 or to 10 o'clock the rest of the time. And also, the Powhatan group does the first Saturday of every month. What time is that, Judy? What time do y'all do your
Sorry,
test?
I forgot to press the button. We do our test at 10 a.m. at the Gospel Light on Anderson Highway
Okay,
every month, the first Saturday. So
All
we
right.
did already have that for this month, but there's always another month coming up.
yep,
Thank you.
yep. And so far, we
Joey,
haven't heard
Chesterfield
anything
Airport.
about the money being, having to pay for your licenses yet. Any other
Joey, the
committees?
Chesterfield,
Go ahead, John.
the Bon Air, the Bon Air Airport that you mentioned, is that the Chesterfield Airport or what? Where
No,
he's
the
conducting the test.
The Bon Air Library. Did I say airport?
Yeah.
The library. I'm sorry. The
the test.
library over on Rattlesnake Road.
Okay.
Sorry
Okay,
about
good.
that.
I just wanted to clarify.
So it'll be 12
Uh,
o'clock this time. Hopefully go back to 10.
Joey, I'd like to make an announcement here.
Go ahead, Ken.
Can I have, I want to show a picture here. Can I do screen share?
Yeah, sure. Just go down to the bottom where it says share your screen.
Okay. I've got to. Well, I can't do it. I'm going to have to announce it. It's Powhatan, Pocahontas. It's Parks POTA at Pocahontas Park, February 28th. And
26, I believe, 26.
26, I'm sorry, 26,
Yep.
9 a.m., Pocahontas State Park. And it looks like a thing. I think I'm going to do that. I've got my 705, and I've got a loop antenna that's pretty portable, and I've got an extra 12-volt battery. And that might be a fun thing to do. The contact is Jim Bates for details, and I'd just like to pass this along anyway.
If I could have a moment to finish up where Ken starts, would that be okay?
Sure, go ahead, Jim.
Yeah. Okay. So, hey, this is open to the world. And, if you got friends, whatever. So while one of the things that RATS is doing is setting up every other month, we want to do a POTA activation. So get out and, get in the field and operate. Again, RATS also appreciates RARC's desire to partner with the field day in June. But POTA, so if you want to come on out, there will be, there's going to be a presentation on POTA next week given by Mike Friedman at RATS, talking about activating what you do, all that kind of jazz. But you don't have to bring, if you don't want to bring gear, you don't have to bring gear. There will be plenty of ways to operate. But there's a lot of people who have already signed up. I mean, it's already over a dozen. And, people want to bring out their gear. People want to bring out their antennas. They want to see what it's like to do this activation. So it's not just, so even though you might not be able to make it out, there's still an opportunity for you to be at home and make contacts with the people that are in the field. So one of the things we really like about POTA and the activations are, it takes both sides. It takes people in the park, but it also takes people at home operating. So if you got an interest or, it's something that you think you might be interested in participating in, come on out. And again, it's it's amateur radio. It's so while like I said, while Rats is doing the event, it's really for everybody. So if you got questions or thoughts or whatever, feel free to shoot me an email, and I'll do my best to answer them. So thank you for the time.
Thank you,
Thank
Jim.
you.
I didn't know you were on there. I didn't see you on there.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you. Jim, I appreciate that. I was the next thing I was gonna bring up, but you saved me the trouble of asking Ken to repeat it. Let's see, where's my list at? Looks like it should be old business. Anybody else got any comments before we move on to old business? Okay, of course, does anybody remember any old business we had from last month? Being Dave Robinson's not here. Is there any
I don't
old
think we
business?
had any.
Okay,
I don't believe we had any.
all right. Do we have any new business to bring up? Any new business?
I'd like to add something.
Yes, Ken?
Kind of associated. I would like to schedule a builders group meeting for Tuesday, this next Tuesday at 2:00 at my location, and I will send out an email to all the people in the group, and anybody that would like to join that group. Please send me an email and I'll put you on that list that I'm going to send out. And for people that have not been done anything with this before, we basically are trying to find and make projects, get back to the old days of being able to solder, to be able to troubleshoot, which is half the fun of building something, because when I build it, nothing ever works the first time. So it's usually a bad solder joint, or I got the polarities reversed on something or other. But it's a learning experience, and from all the people in the group, we learn from each other, because there are people there that have a niche, experience that excels a lot of what the other people have, and so we can trade knowledge back and forth and techniques, and in some cases, building a radio is not just electronics, but all of a sudden you got to learn a little bit about sheet metal if you want to make a case, or hand tools, how the best way is, to drill a hole in something, and so we have a wide range of experiences that people can kind of guide us, and so it's a good, and sometimes it's a good opportunity to just get to know a lot of the other hams and other people. So if you're interested, if you're not on the email list, you have not attended before, send me an email so that I can get your correct email address, and I will send out a notice tomorrow. So get it to me today, probably. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. Appreciate it. Any other announcements, new business? All right, do we have any show and tell? Bruce?
I got something.
Okay, go ahead, Rick.
This is what's called SAT, which is called a self-contained antenna tracker. And this was reviewed in the February QST. But what it does is it has a Wi-Fi hotspot, and you can connect to this with your phone or anything else that has Wi-Fi, and that'll bring up different screens. It'll show satellite tracking, it shows frequencies. But the other thing it does is for ICOM satellite radios, like the 820, 821, 910, and the 9700, it will automatically adjust the Doppler shift for a satellite pass. And also for Yaesu rotators, it will point the antenna at the satellite. And so you can use it with your device, but this thing, if you can put one satellite in it, And this can be used in the field without a computer. And it'll show you for that satellite you have selected when it comes up, when it goes down, what direction it's in, and what the elevation is. So it's pretty nice. And so I'm looking forward to playing around with it with satellites one of these days. But if you want to, if you're, go ahead.
I was gonna say, what was the name again, Rick?
It's called SAT. It's called Self-Contained Antenna Tracker by CSN Technologies. It's fully reviewed in the February QST, and they'll show you some screenshots. But it's kind of, it'll automatically, for satellites that are like the particularly the linear transponder satellites that are CW and sideband, the frequency changes due to Doppler. And this thing has an output that goes to the CAT for ICOM radios. It'll automatically adjust the Doppler shift on your radio as the satellite goes by. And if you have a rotator, it'll aim the antennas at the satellite. I don't have a rotator, but I do have some ICOM radios that will at least use the Doppler. So I'm going to play around with it and see what it does. But for individual, you can put one satellite in this at a time and go remotely, and you won't need it. You don't need access to anything else, and it'll still do all those things. You don't need you can get internet access to update the 2-line elements and frequencies for the satellites, but this will operate independently with a 5-volt supply out in the field. So if you just have one satellite in mind, or you could change it on the fly using your phone, but this will tell you it doesn't give you all the information that the maps and everything do that would be available if you use this with a device, but you can use this in the field to give you a general idea of where it is, which direction, how high, and how long the pass lasts. That's what this is.
Any other questions?
What price range?
$200. $200.
I get a lot of shoes for that. Just kidding.
I got a show and tell if anybody else.
Yes,
Back on
John?
my workbench over there. If you look closely, there's a Helicraft SX-25, which is the shortwave radio that was Helicraft's prime radio before the SX-28 came out, which was, of course, the World War II government receiver. If any of y'all have looked at my little demonstration on the museum page where we duplicated the cover of the 1940 Radio Shack catalog, which had one of these sitting on a desk along with a Super Pro and a little Heathkit transmitter. The one that's in the picture on the desk ahead, if you look at it real close, there's a couple of modifications were made to it. So it's not 100% authentic. This one is 100% authentic, and we bought it restored. So if any of you happen to want an SX-25 or 24, whatever it is, to play with, the case has been restored, other than the 2 holes that were drilled in it by somebody that was modifying it. Make me any reasonable offer, and you can have that one to play with. The electronics is all seems to be there. It's probably restorable.
Any other questions for John? Okay, John, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other show and tell?
I have something to show. John, NQ4A.
Go ahead, John.
I've been getting together one of my little projects here, and I'll show it to you. It's a 30L1. I can get it in the screen just right. And it's really a beautiful piece of work. As you can see here, got 4 811s in it, and I'm almost ready to put the power to it. Had a few little things that I wanted to do. Ken and some others contributed to getting some components that I needed. While I had it out of the case, I just wanted to take care of all the little things. But it's really a well-built piece of equipment that I've enjoyed working with, and it's built like a battleship. So I wanted to. I'm sorry I can't get a better view of it. There we are. But it truly a wonderful piece of equipment with high-tech design. It never goes out of style. Good solid tube linear, and it ought to really pump up. I'm mainly working to get a better signal on 80 and 40. And when this was built, they didn't have the warp bands, of course, but it is continuously tunable all the way up to 10 meters. So I'm having an idea. It might have a little released lower power levels at the upper bands, but nonetheless, I can run at reduced power with it. But 40 and 80 is my main bands for this project. But anyway, it's been a lot of fun, and I've looked toward throwing the switch maybe in the next day or two.
Okay, any questions for John about that? Anybody else got a show and tell?
Joey?
Yes, Bruce.
My wife said in December, what do you want for your birthday? And so I saw at the Builders Group this little thing, this little spectrum analyzer.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, you know, that's something I drooled over Rick's. So, and he didn't want me to do that anymore, so I had to get my own. But anyway, so I had my wife get me this, and I found the most interesting thing to do with it. I set it by my rig, and I watch it with the antenna kind of pop up with the frequency, and watch the whole thing as I transmit and everything else, and flip frequencies and watch it change the whole thing. It's this nice little kind of thing just to stare at. I haven't had any need to align anything. I've never really needed it. I just always wanted one. Well, now I have one, and I found a way of turning it into a toy. So it was I think it's like $60 from something like, Rick, do you remember it was RF Products? What was the name of the company that there are some counterfeits out there that don't work very well.
R&L Electronics sells
Yes.
the authentic one.
Yeah.
I would go with them to avoid the clones that don't work right.
So my wife bought this for my birthday, and it's just kind of just sits at the desk and it pops up every time I transmit. So great fun.
Bruce, is that
R&L Electronics? Is it
Well,
R&L
Bill?
Electronics?
Yes, R&L Electronics sells them.
RNL, okay.
Right,
Thank you.
R&L.
Thanks.
is that truly just a signal meter, or does that have to do other functions as well?
It's a spectrum analyzer. It has a very small screen, but it does a good job of finding where your edges are, and it has some ability to calibrate it. If you hook it up to a PC, you can actually get a large screen out of it, and it does a lot of analysis. If you've used the really nice little VNA vector analyzer, that analyzer that's kind of the same sort of thing, same kind of idea. In fact, they're using some of the same PC software for it. So
It's
you can get a
also
larger screen.
It's also a signal generator.
Yep, it is a signal
in the
generator
same
as well.
range generated. But
Yep.
it's not good enough to do things like two-tone testing for sideband, but it would show you, I think we looked at somebody's linear amplifier with it, and we could see harmonics coming up from
Yep.
that.
So I mean, you know, this isn't a good old HP thing, but it'll show you some of the basic stuff. As I say, it's just fun to kind of watch yourself transmit on it. So you know,
they've done some online reviews of that where they do compare it to the super expensive equipment, and it does quite well considering it's not obviously not the same, but it's quite accurate considering what it cost.
the other thing is it only has a certain number of samples it will take. So if you're looking at a fairly narrow bandwidth, you get some precision with it. As it gets wider, you just don't have any more bits to deal with. So it's gonna, you're gonna see less details.
And if you look at the tiny the network analyzer and the signal analyzer, they're in the same box.
Yes.
Exactly
And
the same
they
box.
use the same software on the computer and that sort of thing. So Yeah, I don't think it's the same people, but I think they've got a relationship in there. I've never investigated to see who it is.
I
Anybody
think this
else?
one was designed by a Dutch amateur. And so that's the original design, and then the Chinese cloned it after that. But the one that Bruce has is the original.
Typical.
Yeah, John. Anybody else? Show and tell. Any questions for Bruce and John, Ron? If I forgot anything, John?
No, I think you're good. If there's no other reports or anything. Just
No
gotta,
committees? I didn't see anything about it. A guest speaker tonight. It was pending in the newsletter. Ken, is that still true?
you muted, Ken. I had a speaker booked for the night, and he has to change to next month. They were
Okay.
at some convention.
That's okay. So if there's nothing else, I guess this is the meeting, correct?
Yeah, you go ahead and call for motion to
Okay.
close.
I got
Do I have
one
a
thing.
motion to close the meeting?
Oh, go ahead.
Hold up one. You got some.
Somebody got anything? Anybody got anything else?
Yeah, I was just going to mention that
Well.
in our board meeting on Thursday morning, we were chatting about CW and learning Morse code or getting your code up to speed. So at Armand and Steve's suggestion, I joined the Long Island CW club, and this is quite an amazing group of people. They've got, I don't know, thousands of people, of students around the world. And they have classes that are set up by Zoom. And I did my first class on Monday, and there were 60 people in there. And it was an excellent class. And I think they're already up to the 8. It's the beginners group. I decided, even though I know some of it, just to start all over from the beginning. And so they're doing the first 8 characters, but just a really good instructor, and had a lot of fun, and looking forward to getting up to speed and getting on the air. I've got so many little CW rigs, but I just never have felt confident enough to get on and actually get on the air with them. So anyway, excited about that.
Let me say something too about that. I belong to that club too. They asked me to give a talk to them because of my antique Morse code stuff here, and I ended up giving me a membership, a lifetime membership to the thing. It's not only good for CW training, if you like that. They also have a meeting on Monday night with questions and answers with a professional technician, and a lot of other stuff they do. So that's a great club to belong to if you're interested in that kind of stuff.
Okay, well.
Yeah, they have, if you look at their events calendar, just events for any given night, they go, well, all day, actually. And some start in the morning, but, long about 6 o'clock, they start, and they've got chats, just about anything you want to chat about CW or keys or keyers or, all kinds of stuff. Just a really great bunch of people.
1,500 members and a lot of expert people in there.
Yep.
Yeah, wrote myself a note. Anything else?
That's it.
What was the name of that organization?
It's the Long Island CW Club. And it's just their email address is just that, all spelled out.
Okay, thank you.
And they're using a G4FON software, which is pretty neat. I've been trying to find something to use that I used to have a Java applet by Tekla that was really excellent. And I had it up on my website for a long time, and now the applet doesn't work because, Oracle and Microsoft were fighting about who owns Java, and the applets went away. So I've been reprogramming it in Python, and I got it working, but it's not the timing on it needs some refinement so far. But anyway, that G4FON software is free, runs on Windows.
Yeah, and hey, Rob, so I use the Just Learn Morse code. I mean, so I'm also a member, Long Island CW Club. I love them. They're just fantastic. I don't understand their love for the G4FON though. I mean, the Just Learn Morse code gives you real-time updates on your accuracy. So after you type it in, you can see whether you're at the 85, 90%. You don't have to try to do pattern matching to figure it out. So if you're looking for a software package, the Just Learn Morse code, it's also free, runs on Windows, but it runs under a Wine emulator if you want. So, you know, you can run it on Linux if you wanted to, but it's one of the few things I kind of like, just, I don't quite understand why they've gone down that path, but
well,
you can use both.
And especially it's not supported anymore, but that's, you know, I give props to the guy that wrote it because, you know, it's got a lot of bells and whistles, but anyway.
I used the Just Learn Morse code for the CW classes. And after comparing the two of them, I mean, they're both good programs, but Just Learn Morse code seemed to be a whole lot easier for me to use. So
I'll grab that.
my 2 cents.
Okay,
Joey, after
anything?
you get your vote, I just want to say a word after you get everything closed. Go ahead and do the close.
Can I have a motion for the meeting to adjourn?
I moved
Motion
to
to close.
closed.
Second,
I'll take it.
Take it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned.